Finally! The 7th video to teach you the possessives and the possessive adjectives, the possessive pronouns. So this could either go very quickly or it could go very slowly. It's easy as a concept to memorize, I think, but it's a lot to memorize. But like once you get it, you'll be fine. Let's just do it. Okay, let's just go into it because I'm gonna need time while I'm doing this video to like actually figure it out because it confuses me sometimes. So we'll just go into it. So I actually just did the entire video for half an hour, but I realized that it would be easier to actually just use the chart that I've made and just explain how to use it since everything is typed out pretty. So if you look at this chart, right, we've got single subject. So the person that's possessing the object, they're what I call the subject here. So there's one person possessing it, there's plural subject, there's multiple people possessing the object, and then it's divided into first, second, and third person. Now in these two columns, it's the thing that they're possessing, the object. You either have a single object that you're possessing or you're having multiple of that object. So let's look at possessive adjectives first. What it means is that it attaches to a noun. So if you have the words like spear, right? Whose spear is that? It's my spear. It's describing the spear. It's the same way as saying like a green spear. My spear is just saying, you know, whose it is. So if you watched the last video, you probably have the basic pronouns memorized. It's gonna be this column going down here. You know, you remember if you're talking about yourself, it's I. If you're talking about yourself but in a group, it's ossa, osir, you know, like us. You, ya, all. So to make it a possessive adjective, you just attach that to the thing you're talking about, right? Like over here, you know, my spear, I Java. Our spear, ossa, Java, osir Java. Your spear, you Java, etc., right? So that's not the, I guess, confusing part at first. A lot of people ask, how do you do plurals in Trigedasleng? The only kind of obvious way to do it is through possessives. So we've already memorized this. To make the object plural, you change the possessive adjective. Because in English, it's my spear. You're like, oh, I have a lot of spears. Okay, let me just add a giant S to the end. Suddenly I have a lot of spears. But in Trigedasleng, you don't modify the object itself, you modify the possessive adjective. So to make it my spears, you add an O to the beginning. Because the O, like before, it means all. Just like when you're talking about you, if you want to make it you guys, you say ya, right? You change the end part to an O. It's you all. So the only one that's like kind of different is I, because I turns into alma, all of my. And then since plural first person, it's already asa asir, you know, you already have an O at the front. It doesn't change, and whether it's our spear or our spears, it's really based on context, and there's really no other way to determine that. Your spears, you add an O to the front. All you Java, all ya Java, you know, all you guys' spears. M, the first E turns into an O. His, her, its spears is and then their spears is amma. So the other way to do possessives is through a pronoun, which would be like, whose spears are those? They're mine. You don't say mine spear unless you really want to sound fancy, I guess. So you just use them by themselves. And I think if you memorized the possessive adjectives, these are really easy because you basically just add an N to the end. Like I Java. Instead of saying that, you want to say it's mine, you just add an N, it's ein. And that's basically how this entire chart works. I think the only real changes are that Alma turns into Amman. Asir completely disappears, so it's just Asa turning into Asan. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just a lot of N's being tacked onto it, essentially. And also, if you want to use it in a sentence, like the spear is mine, it would be Java like ein. The spear is mine. Just remember it's like, not stay. I guess just to kind of show you like the system that I remember this with, let's use you. I think it's like a very easy pronoun to remember. So the different versions of you. So what you can use to remember is if there's an O at the end, it's multiple people. If there's an O at the beginning, it's multiple items that they're possessing. That's basically how I remember it. And then you just tack on N's for the possessive pronoun versions. And then you just have to remember, like, I changes a little bit, you know, like I turning into Alma. And then like M, instead of tacking on an O at the front, it turns into because I can't pronounce Where did that Pauna picture go? What layer am I on? Ooh, that's a bad color. Oh my god, I forgot to mention at the beginning, I'm Pinky from Slack Crew. But yeah, this video is really confusing, that's why I put it off. It's hard to explain. I'll put the link to the Google Docs chart of the possessive that I made and used in the video down below. Yeah, this is the last video that I really have planned. I don't know what else to really talk about, because at this point, like, I think every major grammar point I've talked about. So, you know, if you guys seriously have any ideas what you want to see for a next video, or just put a bunch of questions that you have that you think would help the entire learning group, I guess, I can just rapid fire answer questions in a video or something. Or if you want to know more about like the group in general, about Trigedasleng, about me, my video setup, I don't even know anything, feel free to just put that down in the comments and I'll pick one, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.